CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl, Constance Carter. Yes, we are live here today. It's Friday, and I'm excited to be here. I love coming on live every day. See, I was having a problem at first with, Dr. Boyce Watkins and I talked about the idea of me getting on here every single day to talk to you. I was like, oof, because let me tell you something. I get tired of hearing myself talk sometimes. So I'm like, I know these people get tired of hearing me talk if I get tired of hearing myself talk. So, I just had some trepidation about just being here every day. But there's just so much information that I want to share with you. And I think that, we just need to engage more and have these dialogues about how to grow your money. Okay. So before we get started, I see people already chiming in. I know we have people that watch from all over the world. So I would like for you to put in the chat where you are watching from, because I want you to talk back to me and talk black to me. Okay. So I want you to put in the chat where you're watching from, because I want to shout you out, first of all. Okay. Second of all, we're on a bunch of different streams. So wherever you're watching from, I want to make sure that you're following us, that you're subscribing to us. If you're on Fly Nubian Money, Fly Nubian Queen, make sure you subscribe to that channel, the Fly Nubian Queen. Make sure you also subscribe to me and follow me. I am Constance Carter everywhere. Okay. Subscribe to Fly Nubian Queen, subscribe to Constance Carter, follow I am Constance Carter on Facebook, Instagram, and everywhere else. All right. And then always share, because we're always going to talk about something that I think is important to us as people. So the purpose of this show, you guys, is to show you ways to grow your money, not just your money, but your wealth, because wealth is a holistic experience. Okay. It's not just about the money you have in the bank. It's about your relationships. It's about your health. It's about your family. It's about your business. It's about all those things. It's about your spirit, all of those things. And of course, it's about money too. So when we talk about grow family, it's important that you grow in all areas of your life. Okay. So all those things are affect your ability to grow your family, your money, your spirit, your home, your relationships, and then you internally. So I want you to know that the purpose of grow your money is to grow holistically. But today we are going to talk about Miss Wendy Williams. And this is not a gossip show. I don't want to talk about the gossip of Wendy Williams. This isn't just the fact that she's worth millions, but she only has access to $15, y'all. This is abuse, I think, or maybe she's warranted to be there. I don't know. So yesterday she was on a few media outlets. She was on the Breakfast Club, and then I think I saw her over there with Don Lemon yesterday. And a couple of things are clear. She appears to be cognitive, right? And it sounds like, from her words that have come out of her mouth and that have come out her niece's mouth, that she's being held against her will, and she has limited access to her own funds. What kind of shit is that? She's made millions and millions and millions of dollars, but she has limited access to her own funds. That's crazy. So I want to talk about it. I have a couple of very, very special guests. My co-host, Miss Black Hollywood, we'll bring her on shortly when she's ready, but I do have a special guest with me today. She is a prominent DC attorney. Oh, yes, we got the big dog here. This is Miss Dee McCurran. Deirdre. I call her Dee.
Deirdre McCann.
Deirdre or Deirdre?
Deirdre.
Okay, Deirdre. But I know her. I know her for real. But I just call her Dee.
Yes, she does.
Deirdre McCann. She is a prominent DC attorney. She's also a screenwriter. And she has a movie that's out in film festivals all over the place. It's a great short movie called
He Only Hit Me 4 Times.
He Only Hit Me 4 Times. About domestic abuse. And she's also a part of the Net 7 Collective, which is a community of beautiful, bold Black women who are like movers and shakers from all over the country. So Let's do this. I want to show you all a video. I see. Let me shout these people out real quick. I see Andre Clark from Cali. I see Terry Cobb, Kim from Ohio, Sharif from Boston, Dennis from Minnesota, Rose from South Carolina, Gwendolyn from Ontario. What's up, Rose? And I know, I also want to hear from some people who are across the pond, because I know we have people that listen to us from Africa and Asia and Europe and those places as well. But I do want to look at this video, this first video that I saw yesterday on the Breakfast Club. Let's see this one.
Can't even leave and take a walk if you wanted to, or take a trip or visit family members. They give you a difficult time for that, and family members can't visit you?
Excuse me, where I am, okay, you have to get keys to unlock the door to press the elevator to go downstairs, first of all.
No, I mean, for 3 years, this is the reality. This has been our lives. So, but specifically her life. She can call us. We can't call her. That's been the reality since 2023. Wow.
Alex,
that room that she's sitting in, she's there every day, all hours of the day, every week, every month. She's not getting proper sunlight. I went to New York in October to visit her, and the level of security and the level of questions that there were in terms of who am I, why am I here, what's the purpose? I mean, it was absolutely just horrible.
That is crazy. So this lady is locked in her room, from what they're saying, 24 hours a day. Is that what conservatorship is, Didi?
Well, actually, what conservatorship is, typically it's where the court appoints a conservator to handle a person's financial assets when the person is not able to handle them themselves because of an illness, maybe because of mental condition, maybe because of physical condition. But Wendy is under conservatorship, and that typically deals with the financial side, but she's under guardianship as well. And the guardianship is more the appointment of someone to take care of the person themselves. Mm-hmm. So she's not only is her finances being held, she's being held as a person. You may recall Britney Spears. She was under guardianship. Her father was under conservatorship. Her father was over her affairs, but Britney was not in this quote unquote prison. She was not locked down. She was still able to. So the guardianship also has. The guardianship also determines whether or not the person has who the guardian will determine when the person can come and when the person can go. Like she's saying that she's locked in this room and they have a key to get on the elevator and she can't visit her friends. So she's under conservatorship and guardianship.
That's crazy. So the idea of having a conservatorship is somebody was taking advantage of her, or she was misappropriating her funds, or she was diagnosed as being incompetent in order to handle her own funds, right? Is that the idea? Is that the purpose?
Well, in Wendy's case in 2002, Wells Fargo, which was her bank, and her former financial advisor petitioned the court to get a legal to put her into conservatorship because they were claiming that she was a victim of undue influence and financial exploitation. So basically, they claim that somebody was taking advantage of her financially. So they petitioned the court at that time in 2002. Now, since that time, she has been diagnosed with.
That was 2022. That was 2022 or 2022.
2022 is when she was put into the conservatorship because of what they claim to be under, and I don't know who they were claiming was taking advantage of. Basically, somebody was taking advantage of her financially. That's what they say, and she was not competent enough to prevent it. And the court obviously agreed with them and put her into conservatorship. But then in 2023, she actually was diagnosed with a form of dementia.
But does conservatorship mean lockdown? I mean, does it mean prison? Like, okay, I can see having to manage her money and maybe
Yes.
give her an allowance, but that means she doesn't have access. Let's talk about it because they also said that she doesn't have access to her family.
Alex,
Let's watch
talk
this.
about the great time that we had and seeing my
Yeah.
dad. We all went out and had like a party at one point.
Yeah.
Your dad's gonna be 94 next month, right?
Listen, my
Well,
dad
that's
is
a whole nother conversation.
94. That's a whole nother thing. Like, I don't know whether I'm allowed to fly to Miami to say happy birthday to my dad to get him. I want to get him. Look. Well, that person that you talk about who's holding me hostage.
Sabrina Morrissey, your guardian.
God.
We got to say her name. We got to put her name out there. Sabrina Morrissey,
Well,
her
listen.
guardian.
I don't know that she's going to let me because she already said to see my dad for his birthday. You know, he's going to be 94.
So, I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, I'm going to make sure that they're not financially abusing her, but to keep her locked in, Wendy used the term held hostage, and I cannot see my family. That doesn't sound like conservatorship. That sounds like prison.
It does. It does. And part of that is based upon the fact that they're claiming that she did not have the capacity to care for herself. And it's kind of strange to me because even if I have a child, if my child becomes incapacitated or my husband or whatever, I can take care of them myself.
Right.
We have family members, I would assume, but that begs the question of who, according to them, Wells Fargo and her former financial advisor was accused of taking advantage of her financially.
Right.
Now, if they find that if they found that I was taking advantage of my husband financially or whatever, typically not a husband because that 2 and 1, but somebody, my aunt financially, and put her in a conservatorship, well, then they're not going to let her stay with me, you know. But I would assume that she has other family members that could have, you know, and that's all assumption that, you know, that could take her in and could care for her. And even if someone else is over her and could be over her financial affairs, but
that's
reason.
different than from financial to physical. So like, okay, maybe the sister is taking advantage of her. Well, she still got a son. Okay, well, maybe the son is taking advantage of her. Well, she still has a niece. She has more than just that person. So I don't see how alienating her from her family is actually protecting her. But I want to bring somebody else on the stage, my co-host, Miss Black Hollywood, to talk about it. So Miss Black Hollywood is Tiara Williams. She is all things Hollywood. And I thought she would be so great to join in this conversation because she, number one, you got insight on, you know, what the happenings are in Hollywood. But I mean, of course, you're in the know, and you know much more than I do. And so, what's your take on all of this, girl?
Do I know more than you do?
You do.
First of all, good morning.
You're in Hollywood.
I am in Hollywood. I am. You know, it's an interesting situation because there's some things that we just don't know. Like what we know is that there's been a history of people abusing Wendy, starting from her husband, Kevin. Like nobody has ever properly taken care of, in my opinion, Wendy. So, you know, in her old age, it's just so unfortunate to watch things play out like this. Like I saw the video and it was just heartbreaking. It reminded me, I know you guys already talked about this, about the Britney Spears conservative. And I actually watched that documentary that is on Netflix of Britney Spears. And the level of like, she can't move unless her father gave her permission. That's where the prison comes in. She can't do anything. Like literally she can't go pee without saying, I have to go pee. Can I please go pee? Right. So I just thought that, you know, and if they say you're incapacitated, if they say like her father, you know, I think it started with Wendy with the drugs, right? Because she was, you know, if you guys remember, she like passed out on the show and I don't know, she was heavily abusing cocaine or whatever the drug was. But I think after that, it kind of put her in a position where, you know, people could then slide in and say, listen, this lady can't do it. Let us do it. And those people obviously have been looking at the money.
Yeah. But then so is isolation the best thing for her? And then Ricardo said there's a conflict of interest between the judge and the conservator. This is a scheme to rob her of her finances and free will. And I did hear on the interview yesterday, someone said that the person that was appointed to be her attorney or her conservator had made a big donation to the judge's campaign after the fact. So what does that look like, Dee Dee? Like people, is that what happens? Is that common practice? People make donations to judges?
In these days and times, it seems to be more and more. That's a whole nother subject.
Have you
I'm
seen our
saying, you seen behind the black curtain in the whole realm of the legal stuff, and then you're in DC also, so I'm sure it's not uncommon.
Yeah, but it's really not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen. There can certainly be a conflict of interest if you're donating to a judge that you're appearing before. I have a friend who's a judge. Matter of fact, when you called me the other day when we were doing the book, my friend who I was going over her house, she's a judge. If I had a case in front of her, I would have to reveal to the opposing party that I know this person, that I, went to school with this person, and we are friends, and they have an option to say, to ask her. And 9 times out of 10, she probably would recuse herself anyway. So even if it's no impropriety, if you have what they call the indicia of impropriety, which means it looks like it's not right, then you should remove yourself. But going back to what Miss Black Hollywood was saying, I mean, I think that people have taken advantage of her, and I do think it started with her drug abuse, which made her easy target.
Mm-hmm.
And once she became that easy target, somebody probably was taking advantage of her financially when they first filed for this conservatorship. But then the people filing who obtained the conservatorship, they can also, I'm not saying that they did or are, but I don't know. But if there's a possibility, they see an advantage so that they can take advantage. Because think about it like this: if a family member takes her, or a family member becomes her conservator, these people no longer get paid. They're no longer the conservator. So as long as they can keep her under the conservatorship and say that, she's got these issues going on, because I think on that interview, she talked about the drugs that they're giving her too. That she used to only be on 2 drugs for Graves' disease and some other. She didn't say what the other was, but now she's taking 7 drugs. So she doesn't know what type, if the drugs are keeping her in a certain state of mind or whatever. And so she can appear to be, we all know that drugs can make you appear to be totally incompetent.
Yes.
And so, so it's not in their interest for her to recover or to be removed from this conservatorship.
Let's keep her drugged up.
Yep.
And locked up, because think about this. Dennis Sprague said isolation breeds the idle mind. For me, the coaches podcast have been my okay. But the idle mind part, right? So you think about when people are in solitary confinement in prison. What happens when they're in solitary confinement in prison? There's a breakdown mentally. They end up having nervous breakdowns. They end up losing their minds completely. If you isolate somebody long enough, I mean, whether she's on drugs or not, or whether she had mental problems or not before or not, when you isolate this woman, what you think gonna happen? She's gonna become mental, right, Tiara?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen. I mean, it also keeps her from being able to talk, right? Let's lock her in a room. She can't say nothing. And on the other side of that room, we can say, we're taking the best care of Wendy. She has luxury everything. She's being fed. She's being all the things, right? But Wendy doesn't have a say. Then she says she felt like it was a luxury prison. And so, prison is prison. Nobody wants to be trapped in a room. It just sounds like an awful life. And for her to have lived and work so hard to accumulate everything she has, it just seems like the most unfortunate ending ever. Whether it was her being sick, when we were watching her, like, I don't know if you guys saw the documentary, but I saw pieces of it and it broke my heart. It was like, I'm here on Thursdays. Is it Friday? It must be Saturday. It was like, she obviously wasn't with it, but now I can see she's saying, they just doped me up. That wasn't even me. It's not me, So and it's just unfortunate.
Her attorney said, I seen her attorney said that she's still suffering from dementia. She just has good days.
Right.
You know, it's funny because I saw part of that documentary too, and looking at that documentary, yes, she does seem incompetent. There was a lot of disturbing behavior that took
Yes.
place. However, when the interview with Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club and on some other clips that I've seen since then, she seems far more competent now or during those times than she did when they were making that documentary. And I know that the type of dementia she has is supposed to be irreversible. So it begs the question, if she was that bad during the making of the movie, how is she better now? And I know that you people with dementia have good days and bad days, but there's a stark difference from what was shown in that documentary than how she appears now. And she does maybe appear a little not all the way straight, but again, you've also been locked in a room for over a year to 2 years and fed drugs. So and then
So,
she was a little different anyway.
yeah, but here's my thought,
personality
though.
is a little different.
You think about this, because the conservator wanted her to do this documentary. The conservator pushed for her to do the documentary. So the conservator, they probably doped this chick up, made her look incompetent. But what happened was, when the documentary came out, it started to question the conservator.
Conservatorship.
Yeah. So now they're questioning her. She didn't like that. So now she has lawsuits against the two networks that pushed the documentary out, because when they looked at it, they're like, wait a minute, something don't smell right in the milk, right? So now now they're questioning her. Now she has a lawsuit against them. So that was probably by design. I don't trust in people anyway. But before we even go there, I have a little video, because listen, we're talking to Miss Black Hollywood. We're talking to Dee Dee McCarran, and she is an attorney, and she's a screenwriter. Miss Black Hollywood is all things Hollywood. She's the producer of Fly Nubian Money and all things Fly Nubian Money Club. But Dee Dee is she's a part of Net 7 Collective, and I just wanted to show you a little bit about the Net 7 Collective.
3 or 4 years, I've been praying for a business coach. I knew that a coach, I read many times that all the most successful people have a coach. Coaches have coaches. I've learned how to purchase land. I've learned how to do overages in real estate. And I even learned some different things with credit, that I've gotten my credit cleaned up with my bankruptcy, that I'm almost in my home stretch. Doing everything right now and applying it.
I finished 2 ebooks. If I could do it, anybody can do it. And started a nonprofit.
Gotten more out of this than I ever anticipated.
Constance has done an amazing job at placing systems to allow us to understand how to prosper in our businesses.
I'm telling you, I would move heaven and earth not to miss one of these sessions.
Yay! So those are a few of the ladies from the Net 7 Collective. Dee Dee happens to be one of the beautiful, brilliant, boss Black women that's a part of the Net 7 Collective, which is a organization, a community of women from all over the country that are just learning, growing, sharing together. And guess what? Dee Dee, you got yours? You got yours?
I don't have it with me. I was thinking about that. It's upstairs. My book is upstairs. Yes.
So Dee Dee is a co-author of this book that we have being released on the 20th called Unbreakable. Yes, so it's for sale right now on Amazon. The pre-sale is on Amazon, but it'll be released on the 20th. So I just want to shout out a beautiful boss Black woman. I have 2 here with me today. But let's go back. So before we went to the little commercial, I talked about how the conservator had possibly doped her up, put her on camera, but it backfired. What do you think, Tiara? You think that's a possibility?
I definitely think it's a possibility. I mean, you brought up something, a great point, Deidre, and it's like, right? I did notice, but I was just like, what is going on? It just feels very confusing, right? And so for Wendy to come out and say, actually, y'all, and how did she get to do this interview if she's locked away? I'm just so confused about, like, can somebody answer that question for me? How was she able to do this without her conservator or her guardian?
The one yesterday?
Yes.
She said her phone dials out, but they can't call in. So her conservator is not there. Okay, so let's look at this.
She even mentioned that she might get in trouble on one of them, that they were like thinking that she might get in trouble for doing the interview.
Yes, I want to show you what happened when the Breakfast Club sent Lauren, which is one of the ladies in the Breakfast Club, to go see her yesterday.
Alex, we sent Lauren LaRosa, who works here on the Breakfast Club. You know, I connected her with Wendy a couple of days ago. Lauren went up there yesterday. And tell them what happened, Lauren.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Alex, was it like this for you? When I got there, the people at the front were very aware that Wendy was there. They had me sign in. Her name was in the system. They had to call Sabrina to even see if I could go up there, even though Wendy was on the phone with me when I arrived. And she let them know, hey, this is my guest. I want to see her. I'll even come down. Please have someone bring me down. Because as she said, she can't get in the elevator nor leave her room without them unlocking things for her.
Wow.
They were aware of that and everything was fine. And I was waiting. They called Sabrina a couple times and she didn't answer the phone when they called. And then all of a sudden things just like flipped. These like men came out and they're like, well, who are you? And what are you here for? I told them who I was. I told them I was there to see Wendy. They said, we don't have anyone here by that name.
Oh, wow.
They never said to me.
Did you believe that?
No, I didn't did I not make it upstairs? They basically told me I didn't even feel comfortable still being in the lobby the way that I was treated. Like it was insane, especially being as though Wendy was on the phone with me when I walked in and she spoke to the concierge herself and said, I want to see this person. She is here for me. And then these people are like, she's not even here. What are you talking about? And I'm like, I dealt with your colleagues that had me sign in for her. She's in your system. So you're going to tell me she's not here? Or did you speak to Sabrina as well? Because they said that was protocol. You have to call Sabrina first. We don't know Sabrina and we don't know Wendy. She's not here. They said that to me multiple times.
Wow. You know,
and it's scary. It's very scary.
Did you feel like she was in a safe space?
No, I feel like if you dealing with me like that and she's on the phone with you telling you like this is, you know what I mean? I want to see her. This is my people. God forbid something happens to her and her family needs to get to her.
Now, when she was walking up to the place, she's on the phone with Wendy. Wendy's looking at her from the room. Notice that she had a Chanel bag from the room. She goes in there. They call. She's like, yeah, she's here to see me. And then all of a sudden, we don't know who you're talking about.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? I don't know if either one of you watched Family Business, and they had the one brother that was the crazy people were running the
Wait, Family Business, who was that with? That sounds like a reality show.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't even remember all the names of the people that were in there. But they were basically holding hostage. The brother who was crazy was holding hostage the brother who was sane. And when they came there and they were like, he's not in here, you know, they don't know, they had him under another name, because that's crazy. That's insane.
Sounds like something from a movie.
It's one thing to say that you don't have authorization to be here. You know what I'm saying? That's more legit. You have authorization to be here. She's not allowed to see anybody at this time. And maybe you might have a problem with that. But to say she's not here, we don't have anybody that name, that reeks of something very, very wrong.
Sinister. Almost criminal. I mean, it's criminal. Yeah, it feels very like criminal.
Yeah, it's something sinister going on for sure.
Absolutely. And
so
I don't know.
Pierre, what did you think when you saw that? Like, is that crazy?
Yeah, that makes again, that breaks my heart. And you know, a lot of people, it's so funny because, you know, when we have conversations about Wendy Williams, because of her history, you know, I often see people in the comments like, this is her karma. And she spent so many years bashing and talking negatively about people. This is just what she's due. Karma never, you know, misses the opportunity to, you know, sit you down. But it's just so hard to watch play out, y'all. No matter what she's done, or, you know, I feel like Wendy deserves respect. She was the original shade room queen. She is the original gossip queen. She created the idea of all of these things back in the 90s, right? And so I just think we got to put some respect on her name and, you know, not bash who and what she's contributed to the culture. I don't think anybody deserves this.
Yeah, you know, people better be very careful when they talking about somebody's karma, because ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. I will never say somebody deserves something, because what the hell do I deserve for the things that I put out there? Like, I don't want no bad shit happening to me because I've sinned. Nobody is above sin. Nobody's above, doing anything bad. So people better be very careful of putting their mouth on people or saying something that somebody deserves because of whatever reason that you don't like. Because we all got shit in our closet. You know what I mean?
That also makes her a easier target too, because if you can point to that this person is, she's a bad person, or she's a gossip, or she did this, you can point to the things that you didn't like about what she did, makes some people less concerned about her well-being. And that and the fact that she was on drugs. So now, people like that, people tend to want to throw away or forget about. And when people that want to take advantage of people, when they see that as an opportunity to move in and take advantage of somebody, because who's going to be looking out for, if she don't have her family looking out or staying or keeping this pressed. I saw they had hashtag free Wendy. If they don't keep this out in the public or in the forefront, who's going to know? Who's going to care? Right. And they will continue to take advantage, and if they're taking advantage, to continue to take advantage and do what they want to, but they certainly will continue to be paid, if nothing else, because they will continue to be in the conservator.
I love what you said about that though, because you think about that. Now, if we can play on the fact that people don't like Wendy and they think that this is what she deserves, then perhaps people aren't really going to care about the fact that, she's locked up. Maybe they're going to think that she deserves it. Or, you wonder how in the world is this lady able to get away with all of this, knowing that she's such a public figure? But it's kind of like the cops who be beating people's asses with the police cameras, or when we have cell phone footage, because they so used to doing it, they don't think they ever going to get caught. I think that's what probably happened here. This lady's probably been taking advantage of people for years. This is probably just par for the course. This is just a regular day of business, but she didn't, I don't think she anticipated that she was going to get this type of exposure from doing that. What do you think, Tierra?
But just one thing I'll say, but you mentioned it earlier that, but when the documentary came out and painted her in a bad light, now it's like, I don't want it out there because she didn't want that bad press.
Too late. Too late.
I'm sorry.
It just makes me think of the history of Wendy Williams. And I'm just thinking about Kevin. Remember we talked about on Fly Nubian Money, which comes on at 1 and 2 p.m. today. So come to see us. But we talked about on Fly Nubian Money that, her husband, Kevin, who is divorced from her right now, wanted to remarry her so he could take her money and then divorce her again. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted to literally go back and marry her again so he could divorce her again and get alimony all over again.
Wait, this is after the side piece, after buying the side piece a house, after buying the side piece a car, like after having a baby with the side piece. Now I want to go back so I could re-abuse you again.
Yes. And so it just makes me think of the kind of people that she's had in her life. So even if she is having some mental issues, I think it's from the years of abuse. I think Kevin, to be honest, played a huge part in the reason why she is the way she is. We watched a very public meltdown. We watched her be hurt on the show. We watched her kind of project. I remember when she, Wendy, like kind of attacked one of my dear friends, Tabitha Brown, for retiring her husband. And Wendy was like, good luck with that, honey, because, and it was like a whole thing because of what her husband had done to her. And so I just think we've seen the hurt and the bitterness and the pain, and that can drive someone crazy too. Let's keep it real. If you never feel loved, if you let people, especially your husband, can drive you crazy.
Yeah. What a life. So y'all, for everybody who's watching, we love for you to talk back to us and talk black to us. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this is abuse? Do you think this is for her protection? Wendy Williams is worth millions and millions of dollars, but yet she has access. She said to 15, Tierra. She said $15. All she got access to is $15. She can't call out. No, she can only call out. They can't call her. She's locked in a room, a luxury prison is what she says. She has a TV. She says, I'm just watching my life waste away. I can look out the window. The people that I'm around, she's like, they're a little, because they're under conservatorship. So she's like, I don't really want to socialize with those people. All I have is me. And then her family can't come and see her. So she was so excited to see her family. There's actually a video we had when she talks about how excited she was when she saw her family.
Alex, talk about the great time that we had and seeing my dad. We all went out and had like a party at one point.
Yeah.
Your dad's going to be 94 next month, right?
Listen, my dad.
That's a whole nother conversation.
94, that's a whole nother thing. Like, I don't know whether I'm allowed to fly to Miami to say happy birthday to my dad, to get him. I want to get him. Look. Well, that person that you talked about who's holding me hostage.
Sabrina Morrissey, your guardian. We got to say her name. We got to put her name out there. Sabrina Morrissey, her guardian.
I don't know that she's going to let me because she already said to see my dad for his birthday. You know, he's going to be 94. So,
and then at the end, she started crying at the fact that she might not be able to see her dad for his 94th birthday. Her mom already passed away, and you know, his days are certainly limited. She's in prison. Can you do that? So we're talking to Dee Dee, who is an attorney at Washington, D.C., a prominent attorney. Also part of the Net 7 Collective. We are talking to Ms. Black Hollywood, who knows everything about all the insides of Hollywood. She has the inside tea. But is that what conservatorship is?
That's the part that really confuses me and troubles me. I understand not allowing her to go, even to go to see her father, if there is some concern about, her coming back or what will happen while she's there or whatever. But it's real telling that no one is allowed to come see her. Because if you're in a facility, even people in prison can have visitors come see them. So to not allow people to come see her, where you control the situation. You're in the elevators have keys. Somebody can't sneak her out. The elevators have keys, and I'm sure that they have security there. Obviously they have security there. Security came out when the person from the Breakfast Club came there. So there's no good reason why no one can come see her. And if the fact that they're not allowed to come see her, it reeks of something toward that is going on, because and someone of your guests mentioned too, I saw on there that they said something like elder abuse. When people are in retirement homes or elderly homes, the people who never have people to come visit them, those are typically the people who end up being abused. The people that have people come visit them regularly, then they because they try to put on a good front, and and I'm not saying that they're not some good places. They treat the people well, and so when you come see them, you say, "Oh, grandma is doing well. They're treating her really nice. This is a nice facility." But when you have a loved one that's locked away, and I will say locked away in this place, and nobody can come see her. Her loved ones can't come see her, or friends can't come see her. Then that's a problem. That's a big problem, and it's a red flag.
Because there's $50 million on the line. And if there's a good reason, right? You said for no good there's a good reason. If they're trying to hold on to Wendy's 50 million and paint her in a certain light, and her family keeps coming to see her and get video like, "Hey, Wendy," and Wendy's like, "This is so fun," and just as coherent as she wants to be, that's gonna make everybody question and say, because every time a family member does go see her, they do get video and they're like, "I got to see my auntie Wendy or my cousin Wendy," or and she looks normal. She looks great, as opposed to her being wheeled around in that wheelchair and her looking
drugged
like
up on the Netflix special.
Yes, like she was dazed and looking, and they had her eyes like this, and like it's just a lot, right? It's a lot.
Then you gotta wonder, this lady was fighting and pushing for this Netflix special, and all of a sudden now she's suing Netflix for the special. I mean, it don't I know, y'all. Listen, I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I've told everybody that. I'm
sharp,
the smartest person. But come on.
You might be the second sharpest.
Yeah, she be talking that. Yeah, just lies.
Yes. No, I'm not that bright. I'm not that bright. Really. But I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure the sinister plot out. Okay. So I'm talking to Dee Dee McKern, and I'm talking to Tiara Williams, Miss Black Hollywood. Dee Dee also is a screenwriter, and she has a short film out called what?
He Only Hit Me 4 Times.
That's winning all kinds of awards
Yes.
in the film festival circuit. And so she won another award a couple of weeks ago, and I was so proud of her. I said, you know what, we got to go out and celebrate. So I took her out, her and another lady in the Net 7 Collective, me, her, and Lisa Burton, because Lisa.
We love Constance.
They're in the DMV, but I'm proud of all the things that you guys are doing out there in the world. You know, Dee Dee, and I just want to say this real quick, and then we'll get back. But it's so cool because Dee Dee's been an attorney for years, and I was reading her chapter this morning in the book that we wrote, and it's called Yellow Notice, and she talks about how she was this prominent attorney, y'all, and when she got home, she had this yellow notice on her door. I'm not gonna give it. Yeah, it was her. She was getting evicted.
Yes.
Nail bags, DC attorney came home.
Fly.
This is fly she wanted to be. But it's a true testament to, you know, all the things that we go through, because you can look at us and thinking we got it all together, and we might be dying and crying and lying and everything else inside. And it just shows our humanity. And that's what this book, Unbreakable, is about. It's about all of these really, really successful women who are doing such an amazing things, but their journey. And, we use our hardship as a blueprint to help other people. Our journeys have not been always clean and wonderful. And we weren't born with silver spoons in our mouths. And we've had struggle, and we've had to hustle. You know, I was bankrupt, broke, busted, disgusted, homeless, car repossessed, short sales work. All those things was me. But God has blessed me to be able to elevate past that. And so we've all had our experiences. Everybody got a story. And it's just encouragement to let you know that if we can do it, you can do it too. Right. So I want to show this last video I want to show before we get out of here, because I think this one is really important. Y'all, so after Lauren goes to the Breakfast Club, there was a retaliation.
And you know what, Lauren, I want to say something, because I did hear yesterday about you going, and it was like the whole mess, which you just explained.
Yes.
Also, I want to go a little bit further with that, Wendy, because we talked about this yesterday. That happened, and the alarm bells started ringing. That's when my aunt was told, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you know, your cats chit-chatting my way. And anybody that's a Wendy fan knows how much my aunt loves chit-chatting my way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gave those cats away. You don't have them anymore.
Oh my God.
Your dad's birthday? Well, that's up in the air. You're going to have to talk with Linda.
Me and Wendy talked about those cats the whole way there. Yes. Oh my God.
It's like she's getting punished for just trying to be a normal person
to live
about society.
Wow.
She sound like her auntie. Jesus.
Right. Doesn't she? And
getting punished because somebody tried to visit her. That's crazy. And that is a big red flag. Big red flag.
I mean, they should have her out of that facility immediately within 24 hours, you would think.
Well, the problem is also the conservator, because I'm assuming that I assume that the conservator is the one who is saying that, you know, now it could be the rules of the facility. It very well could be, but it also could be the conservator saying that I do not want this and this to happen. She's not allowed to go out. She's not allowed for anyone to come visit her. And now it could be the facility itself, but I would question again, and maybe that's why she has a problem with this documentary. If she knows that that's happening, then she needs to be taking it on her own initiative to remove her from that place. If that is their rules, you have to go by the rules that's there. But if that's the rules, then so it still falls back on the conservator, because either she's directing them to do it or she's allowing them to do it.
What you thought when you heard that, Tier?
It just makes me wonder how this can be. Like, I don't know. Like, who is Sabrina that she gets to have guardianship over Wendy in this way her whole life, right? And like, why can they go back to court? Actually, this is a question for the good lawyer on the panel. Mm-hmm. Can they go back? Can her family protest for them to go back to court? Can they, I mean, they've already showed that can they go to another judge? Like, how can she get out of this situation?
So what they can do is to petition the court to have the conservator removed and a new conservator appointed. And they can ask for someone in their family to be a conservator. That's probably not likely to happen because of Wendy's net worth, and because there's probably a lot of things that they feel that, or at least this conservator has made them feel that she needs, or that they probably, it would be hard. Now they can find somebody, maybe they find somebody in their family that has some experience with being a conservator, that would work. But they could also suggest somebody else, or have the court appoint someone else. But they definitely can go, but they would have to come to the court, and they would have to be able, in order to get that conservator out, they would have to find good cause. It has to be, that the conservator has failed in her duties to Wendy, and whether it be that not allowing her to have any outside contact, or whatever the reasons are, they would have to put all of those reasons in writing in their petition, and the court would have to decide to remove her. And from what I understand, this Sabrina Morrissey is a well-known attorney, and has some, she's familiar, and so it's going to be hard to get her out, because they're going to, use the excuse, well, she's a really good attorney, and I think that she's, I've experienced it myself, where I've gone to court, and I've had a case where it's a big law firm, and I've had to prove myself. I've proven myself, and I've gone in there, and by the time we were midway through the court, the case or whatever, then I got the same respect that the other law attorney from the other large law firm got, but that was because I proved who I was. So in the same sense that if they tried to get her removed, and she already has this reputation of being a really good attorney, the judge is going to be hesitant about removing her, because are we going to put somebody else in this, not as competent in her? And then if she's sending, making, I don't know, was it her that made the donations to his campaign?
I think it was.
Then
I think it was her. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be an
Think
issue
about
itself.
this. Think about this, though. New York has the most. Their system in everything is jacked up. Whether it's the court system, whether the compliance, legal system, prison, due process, the right to a speedy trial, all those things in New York. We all know nobody likes to do business. Anybody with any type of licensure really runs to New York to do business there, because it's just so difficult. And so you have something like this. You have Wendy Williams saying, hey, I'm being held hostage. It's probably going to be a long process to unravel all of that, because New York is just so horrible when it comes to like the courts and the system and the bureaucracy and all of those things. So that's going to be just another thing that is going to be taxing, I believe, but it's unfortunate.
They can do an emergency petition, but it still, it would be so much proof that has to be made that it would still be dragged in any court, and New York would probably be even worse.
Yeah, but because think about this. Think about the right to a speedy trial. When you have those boys who go up to Rikers Island, and they're there for years before they even have trial, because they don't have any bail money. So there's that bail abuse, and then they're there. And remember the young man who ended up committing suicide, and the people who died there, and they're completely innocent, but they haven't had their due process. So, that just those things that happen in New York, I just, I wonder how things are going to end up playing out. But y'all, this was a great conversation. I always love to, just look at, our situations holistically. This is the Grow Your Money podcast. And the reason why we come live here is because we just want to show you how to grow your money and not blow your money. But growth is a holistic experience. It's not just about the money. It's about wealth. It's about your mental, physical, spiritual, financial, all of those things. It's not just about how much money you got in the bank, but I can show you how to get the money. You going to be able to keep it? No, there's a holistic approach to it. So before we head out, Didi, I just want you to, we got this book coming out. It's called Unbreakable with the Net 7 Collective. This is like, yes. I mean, I have several books. Y'all see up here, I got a lot of books, but I ain't got no book this thick. And this is hardback. My first hardback book. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yes.
Somebody asked in the comments, what's the name of the book again? And it's called Unbreakable. My title, my cover's not going to look like this. My cover's going to look a little different. It's not going to have my picture on it. Dee Dee's cover is going to have her picture on it. And we all share our stories of resilience, sisterhood, success, and all that stuff. Can you tell a little bit about, what your experience has been with the Net 7 Collective before we get out of here?
My experience with the Net 7 has been phenomenal. When I tell you, when I first talked to, I actually first met you on H Street when you guys were down there, and actually got back in contact with me, and she told me about this group, and she told me what the cost was, and I was like, yeah, okay, I think I will try that. And I was just talking to somebody about this today, and I was like, okay, I just went on and paid. She had a payment plan, but I went on and paid the whole thing, and then immediately I had buyer's remorse. I didn't tell her that. I had buyer's remorse. I was like, I shouldn't have spent that much money, And so I said, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to fight it on out. When I tell you, it has been so much worth, so much more than I could even imagine to spend. Even the position I told you, that the position that I have, I was recently hired as legal counsel for Roots Public Charter School in DC. And part of the things that I said in my interview, part of a program that I created based on some tools that you taught me about, that I was able to tell them, look, I've already created these, or I think I told them I can create these. I had already created these programs for the teachers and for the administrators or whatever. Part of that is what got me that position. The stuff that I learned from Constance. Got this book, Unbreakable. I wrote my first novel, which took me 20 some years to write, right? But in earnest, I probably put in, a couple months to get it done, and then it took probably 6 months after that, 6 or 7 months before I even got it published and then print. And we did this thing in a matter of, it seemed like a month, and it's coming out on the 20th. Just so many things and so much that I've learned, stuff that I use in my practice every day, tools that I've learned. Constance is phenomenal. We love Constance. And
That's
anybody
true.
out there, if you want to grow your business, or you want to change, switch lanes. You're thinking about switching lanes, or you want to see how you can get more exposure. I told Constance about another idea I have today about something else that I want to do. Yes, if you want to get multiple streams of income and you want to grow your business, Constance is the person, and you need to take a part. You need to become a part, because don't you have another cohort coming? I was in cohort 4. She's got another cohort coming out soon.
January 29th is when we start this next cohort. Yeah. Thank you.
I promise you that you will not regret it, and it will be worth every dime and more.
Thank you. Oh my God. That's so sweet. I love it. You go to bookwithconstance.com. Thank you. And I didn't pay her to say that. So thank you.
Constance, can I just say one more thing? I just want to say one more thing about the Wendy thing. It's a shame.
I was actually going to let you do your final. Okay,
I can do that.
Is this your final thought?
Yeah, I was just going to say it. I'll just say that a lot of people don't know. In 2008, the federal government took over conservatorship, put Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac into conservatorship.
They did.
And they have been there since then, and they still operate fully. And it's a shame that a corporation, and I know that they're not a person or whatever, but it's a shame that a corporation can be taken into conservatorship, and you've got all these 2008, and what is this now, 2025, but a person can be put into conservatorship and just lose everything, lose all their rights to do anything, and it just boggles the mind that can happen, and that they don't have any choice of anything that they do. They don't, and their family members don't have any say so or whatever. I'm sure that in these the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, that they still, some of their executives still have some control. It might be run by the federal government, but they still have some control. But to say, as a person, to demean a person in that way, somebody who worked all those years, made all that money, and to just take all of your money away, all of your rights away, all of your connections with your family away, it's just mind blowing to me.
I never thought about that, because I'm very familiar with the conservatorship of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and they're allowed to operate freely. They still and they mismanage money. They lost people's money. They mismanaged the business structure, and they still out here handling my money because they actually own my loan on my mortgage. So
right.
yeah, they still doing business as usual. Miss Tiara, let's get your final thought. I'm not gonna put you solo because you're a little blurry today, but go ahead and do your
Am I blurry?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. You know, I don't
But you still look cool, girl.
You still look good. You still look good.
I agree.
We can see the beauty through the blur.
I can appreciate that. That's crazy because I see myself clearly. Final thoughts about Wendy is, this is just really unfortunate. I mean, to why it makes me think about how hard someone can work and still end up and do all the right things in terms of business, make all the right decisions. A part of the reason why I think she married Kevin was for protection. He's kind of like a street guy, and she's a little rough around the edges, and she's doing all this business. Supposedly, allegedly, when she had spoke out against Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, it put her at risk because supposedly there was threats coming in from him. And so she married Kevin, and he was then protecting her from all the things. And so it's just like this woman has earned her right for respect. I'm gonna just keep saying that. We should respect Wendy. Let's send our prayers to her. Let's pray that she can find balance. If she does need someone to be a guardian over her, let's just pray as somebody that has her best intentions at heart. Her at heart, right? Not trying to keep her and be malicious and keep her from her family and her dad. Let's just pray for a good situation for her. So I would just say that. And then also, I'm on, I hit the gym today in terms of grow your money. The way I think about the Grow Your Money podcast is that every day we should be hitting the gym because it's GYM, grow your money, right? Is the acronym. It's
I love
gym.
it.
So if every day you can hit the gym and come here, I love being here with Constance because I like to hit the gym with her. Like I want to grow my money. And so I think she should add that to her slogan. She won't do it yet, but I'm going to just do it.
That's
So
that's
hit
what
the
it is.
gym every day. If you think about it, if it's your mental, it's your spiritual, all of it, like you said, is a holistic experience for your wealth. And so hit the gym every day, y'all. And so now that I'm on the gym, I have Fly Nubian Money, the Fly Nubian Money podcast, which is right after this show at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Fly Nubian Queen Network. We also have the Fly Nubian Money Club, which I'm co-creator of. Constance did our last training. If we're bigging up Constance is a freaking genius. She came in and talked about the blueprint for 7-figure earning. And when I say she turned that thing out, it is turned. The bar is up here. So she gave us all these jewels about how to level up to our 7 figures. If you're at 5 figures, you can go to 6 figures. If you're at 6 figures, you can go to 7 based off her training. And so I would just encourage you all to come into the FlyNubianMoneyClub.com. Right now, we have a free 30-day trial where you can watch the trainings that have already happened. You can watch Constance training and learn how to take your business. Is that way?
Yeah.
My point right.
This way. Yeah, you good.
Okay. You can watch in Constance's training and grow your money and hit the gym. Hit the gym today. Come to FlyNubianMoneyClub.com.
All right.
How do we watch the replay
of this show? Of this show or
the Fly Nubian Money Club?
Oh, a Fly Nubian Money Club. Go to FlyNubianMoneyClub.com. And you can watch all of the replays. We have, if you're interested in real estate and want to buy real estate abroad and domestic, we have a training for that, which is amazing. And then Constance. And then we have Athena Gardner coming up, who's going to teach us how to, from idea to income, to take our money to the next level using AI, because AI is here, Black people, and we need to know how to use it.
Amen.
You can learn some of that in the Net 7 too.
Thank you, 100%. And then lastly, so y'all, men have been asking me, "Hey, you ain't got nothing for the brothers." And so I was like, well, no, I mean, not nothing like that, right? Because one thing I know is the reason why I do Net 7 is because I love Black women. Number one, I love us, but I love Black people, and my goal is to help us to close the wealth gap. I did a TED Talk a couple of years ago. It's called "Google That Shit." It has like 440,000 views, and it's one of the best TED Talks I've ever seen. But I'm obsessed with closing the wealth gap because there was an article in Forbes magazine in 2017 that said that by the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a 0. And so I don't believe that. They didn't, like I always say, they didn't fuck around and gave us the internet. They didn't fuck around and gave us AI. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Okay, so that's not going to happen. But I also believe that Black women are the great equalizer. There's an African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. So I think women are on the forefront. It doesn't mean that men can't do it or men aren't a part of it, but just my ministry and my mission and my passion and my goal is to help Black women, because I believe that, we multiply. When you give us a house, we're going to make a home. Yes. When you give us some food, we going to make a meal. You give us seed, we going to make a baby. Like, we do all things. And so we not only learn about it, we share it, we grow, we community. And that's what the Net 7 Collective is about all those things. So shout out to, I think her name is Lisa, who scheduled an appointment with me. She went to book with Constance. Shout out to her, who scheduled an appointment to talk about it. But also I'm coaching men. I'm not doing a cohort because number one, men don't be invested in themselves like that. But I am doing one-on-one coaching for men, women, boys, girls, Black, white, Asian, whatever. Everybody gets to have access to this coaching. And if you want to start a business, you want to, grow your real estate business, your real estate portfolio, you want to strategize on your business, you want to craft your message, you want to write a book, go to ConstanceCarter.com, all things Constance Carter, and I can help you with that too. So I'm doing one-on-one coaching with Constance. I'm ready. Miss Black Hollywood, why you get up off of here? We about to head up out of here. You gotta go, lady. I'm gonna go ahead and remove you from the stream. Listen, Dee Dee, I want to thank you for. Are you good? Because I want to give you your proper.
What's hilarious is that I was about to press the button and then you put me back on. I was like,
we're getting off because Fly Nubian Money is coming up next. This is Friday. Yeah, and so she got to go prep for the Fly Nubian Money. But make sure you come back at 1:00 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, because we're gonna finish the conversation about Wendy Williams, right? So the conversation continues. The conversation.
We're gonna talk about it from a different perspective.
Yep. So make sure you come back on the Fly Nubian Money, the Fly Nubian Queen YouTube page, right? That's where they can view it. And then all things Spotify. So if you ever want to listen to us and you can't watch us, go to Spotify and search for Fly Nubian Money. Conversations with Constance as well. All right, y'all. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you. I appreciate it. Miss Black Hollywood is always good to co-host with you.